Absolutely. People are more familiar with the rack. Now, we want them to have the proper name recognition.
Sure.
But the rack is where we're at.
And by the way, the food is pretty good. Opening tap is controlled to Rutgers. Derek Simpson running the show. Right away, Amore going to be involved, and they go right to him. And there's the follow. Beautifully done by Austin Williams, who's got a lot of hops. Somebody that you felt going into today's game would be a real catalyst for Steve Pikel.
His ability to be able to create his own shot off the dribble, excellent passer and phenomenal athlete, will be important for him to impact this game, particularly on the offensive end.
There's the dump down to Edey. He looks for help from Lance Jones, and there's Smith on the wing, and he drains the tray to make it a 3-2 game.
You have to make sure that your rotations are quicker. Purdue has 5 guys in their rotation that shoot 40% or more from three-point line.
Look for a lot of pick and rolls and pick and pops with Amore. Try to get Edey away from the basket. That one's off the heel, run down by Smith.
Yeah, Edey's sheer size intimidated Amore on that shot.
That ball deflected, but Edey does corral it, and he's fouled inside. It's going to be important that Amore stay eligible in this game. As you look at Matt Painter, what an incredible job he has done. The former Boiler that played for Gene Cady, and actually under Coach Weber at Southern Illinois. I first met him when he was an assistant, and has gone on to have an incredible career. Now 19 years at Purdue, and I think it's a fait accompli that at some point people will always say the best coach does not made a trip to the Final Four, and right now he carries that moniker.
He does, and yet he's been 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, 2-time Big Ten Tournament champ. So that doesn't take away from what he's been able to accomplish at Purdue. It's been remarkable.
Well, the good news, by the way, Fonz, that foul went on Williams on a reach rather than Amore, and that's important to Steve Pikel. It's a 4-2 game now.
Yeah, Moore's got to stay out of foul trouble. They don't have the requisite size and experience coming off the bench in his absence at the center position.
Once again, if he gets the ball at the high post, he's able to clear the rim for his teammates.
To make a couple of those.
Yep. Right on cue, Cliff Amore.
And what that will do, partner, is force Zach Edey to come up out of that lane area, which should open up dribble penetration lanes for their guards.
Smith all the way to the rack. Count the basket.
Question is that foul on Amore. Little simple pick and roll here. And Cliff Amore has to square up the basketball. If you're going to be in drop coverage, you have to square up the basketball. He doesn't, gives an angle to be able to attack, and that's a really good call by the official.
So Amore with one. Williams with one as well for Rutgers, and that ball is last touched by Simpson on the way out. I think Doug Sermons is going to come in and overrule and give the ball to Rutgers. He does, telling DJ Karstensen, one of the really quality officials in college basketball, that he had a better angle on it. He, along with Jeffrey Anderson, the 3 officials. As you look at Steve Pikel, I mentioned when first meeting Matt Painter, he worked for Coach Weber at SIU. Now Steve Pikel was with Jim Calhoun at Connecticut as both the player and assistant coach.
He's having to make an adjustment, of course, in this new NIL space, because he used to having guys 4 to 5 years, and that's just not the case
not
now.
anymore. Hyatt, the transfer from LSU, could not get that one to go. They'll need him today. Nice rebound up high by Kaufman-Wren. Trey Kaufman-Wren coming away with it, and a recycle for Purdue. Shot clock at 4. That's the guy you want to have it. Can't get it to fall. And it's rebounded by Austin Williams. Mag. He might be their best overall player. Mawat Mag out of Australia. The team still trying to get accustomed to playing one another, and on that ball fake. Smith draws the personal foul inside.
And folks, watch inside here as that ball comes around. Watch Zach Edey on the interior. Cliff Amory's doing a terrific job of not only pushing him off the block, but he's forcing him to take a fall away over his left shoulder, which is something he doesn't want to do. And if he can continue to do that and they can rebound the basketball and allow them to get out of transition and try to get some easy ones before this tough Purdue Boilermaker defense gets set up, that's really well done by Cliff Amory.
Noah Fernandez will check in, number 2 for Rutgers, as Williams picked up his second. And before we get to the television timeout, he's got 2 quick fouls. Smith gets the free throws, and it's now 8-4 Boilermakers.
Yeah, Braden Smith has been terrific over the last 3 games. 10 assists per game over the last 3 and only 3 turnovers. He's got such great vision out there on the floor.
Amory again. Boy, that shot from the elbow, this time a little too strong. So he's 1 out of 2 today from that spot on the floor.
Got to find shooters.
Great pass inside. Edey forces it up. That's quality defense by Clifford Amory there.
2 straight possessions on the block. Cliff Amory doing a terrific job.
Gonna need some of those to fall.
Yes.
Noah Fernandez has that one go crying off the front iron. They've really struggled from the floor, Rutgers, particularly from downtown.
Shooting only 30% from the three-point line. They've got to make something against Purdue today.
That jump hook doesn't fall. Edey on the offensive glass. And Amory just has to give that one up. It does.
Yes, too valuable to what they're doing on both ends of the floor to get in foul trouble.
4 straight missed shots for Rutgers. Got to maintain contact early against a team as efficient as Purdue. Mag, a pull-up, and again, short.
Yeah, notice, Tim, everything's a jump shot now. They've got to get Zach Edey away from the basket and get to the painted area off the dribble.
Jones, high rising, but can't get it to fall. Edey, the offensive rebound. The double comes late, and he double dribbled. Or they'll call it a walk. They'll give him a travel rather than a double dribble. 1 win to tie a former colleague of mine, Bob Wenzel, who had such a great career here as coach.
Yes.
And we want to send out great wishes to Bob, who lives in the Jacksonville area, loves to play golf, and a former partner of mine during the NCAAs in the early 2000s. Here's Griffiths. They're going to need somebody to make a bucket besides Amory. That follow won't fall, and there's like a lid on the cylinder for the Scarlet Knights early.
Got to find shooters when they get out in transition.
And out of bounds, and a walk on Mason Gillis, who has shot the ball well recently for this team and a one-time starter at Purdue. He passes the ball inside to Edey about as well as any wing player can.
He does, and Mason Gillis gives them a different look at the power forward position because of his ability to be able to stretch the defense, shooting 51% from 3 on the year.
Antoine Woolfolk is also in the game for Rutgers. That little leaner.
They've got to make those, TB.
Got to get some of those to fall. Fernandez can't hit. Get the feeling that the anticipation is so great. They look a little tight early, this Rutgers team on the offensive end. Ethan Morton is on the floor, number 25 for the Boilers out of the timeout. Edey setting up the pick and roll. Here's Lawyer, the sharpshooter goes inside, found a little way to navigate himself into the paint, and makes it a 12-4 game.
The defense is so concerned about Purdue's ability to be able to knock down threes. When that basketball goes on the deck, they're afraid to leave, and that's what's creating that little angle to be able to get to the front of the rim, combined by Zach Edey essentially setting a little screen in the middle of the lane.
8 unanswered now for the Boilers. Amory giving it up. Nice work inside, as you see Antoine Woolfolk in the game, as we mentioned earlier. And finally, one drops for Davis.
Michael Davis, who they call Mike, reminds them of Jacob Young in terms of his speed and ability. He's got to be able to create some offense for Rutgers on the offensive end. That's a good pull up there.
You made mention of the fact that they needed to get Amory some help, and they did by getting Davis into the game. Morton can't hit. So these are vital minutes for Antoine Woolfolk. The 6'9" star now playing inside while Amori gets a breather. Beautiful defense by Morton.
Fernandez, number 2 in red, lost his shoe. He's still on the other end in the backcourt.
Yeah. Smith unable to get it to go. And oh, by the way, he doesn't have time to get it on. There he is up at the top of your screen trying to adjust and get those sneaks on.
His shoes untied and everything.
Back in the day, those Chuck Taylors would stay on.
That's right. Oh, man.
I realize they're not as fashionable, but
sure.
They did stay on.
Yes, they did. It's a big shot there.
Well, can't get it to fall. Yeah.
I'd like to see Purdue get Zach Edey involved in more ball screens to get him out the middle of the lane. And he's in drop coverage. That'll allow the guards to be able to make a 15-foot jump shot.
Now they double team right away when he hits the ball with Omori out. And a foul spotted on that dribble drive at the baseline. They need some buckets to fall. Scarlet Knights have missed 10 of their last 11 shots. But when Amori left the game and they went with Woolfolk, you saw right away the change in doubling down immediately as opposed to waiting for a bounce.
Absolutely, because he's a little bit stronger and able to push you off the block. But I tell you what, when you're guarding somebody 7'4", 300 pounds, I had to guard Shaq during my day in the league. It really gets to your legs, and so they're trying to give him some much-needed breather on the side, which is why Woolfolk came into the game.
Boy, oh boy, that was no walk in the park.
No.
A turnover, and there's Jones. Beautiful job in the wing area, and Purdue crashing the offensive glass out of bounds. It goes back to Rutgers. That's an opportunity missed for the Boilermakers.
Yeah, the Boilermakers have missed some at point-blank range as well. Comes off the rim there, and that is off the leg of Gillis. Good call by the officials. Tim, what they're going to do is when they bring the basketball up on the full clock, they want to try to reverse the basketball, Rutgers, and get it to about 10 seconds because they want to try to make that defense move. And around the 10-second mark, if they don't have anything, then they get into what they call head tap, which is a ball screen and roll, as you're seeing right here.
Yeah, and Amori lost it that time as he was trying to post up and make his move inside. Just a terrible start offensively for Rutgers. And Steve Pikiell was telling his team in that huddle, listen, you got good looks.
Yes.
They've got to fall at some point. Just maintaining contact during this drought is the main thing. Gillis from downtown. Bingo.
Beautiful offense.
Biggest lead. Double digits already, and we're not quite 9 minutes deep into the first half. Now, you hate to say must make situations this early, but it really is getting to that point.
I like when they put Hyatt on the block, though. He's got to be aggressive.
Yeah, he's doubled. And there's Amori now. Over Edey, and he's rejected. But a foul. They got Zach with the arm.
And folks, as this action is taking place, keep your eyes on Mason Gillis. What they're doing is a little ball screen, give and go action, and then all of a sudden there's a replace, and he's wide open at the top. Rutgers has to communicate that a little bit better. I like Amori being a bit more aggressive, trying to go at Edey, because if you get him in foul trouble, they get a little smaller, and now they takes away their inside-outside game. I like what Rutgers is doing on that, or has done on that play.
In a year when Coach Pikiell lost his two best guards, including Cam Spencer, to the transfer portal, and his big back in the summer, he didn't know what he would have. And now with Amori staying, it was crucial that this kid who had options come back to his team. At least he had some foundation to work with inside, and the future is bright from a recruiting standpoint, but they're just trying to build some chemistry with the rest of this team because of those losses, massive losses in their lineup from a year ago.
Absolutely. Clifford Amori actually put his name in the NBA hat, but decided to come back as his mom Gladys wanted him to graduate. And you need to have stability within your program, and he's done just that.
Yeah, I tell you, through the years, Nigerian kids come in grateful for the opportunity and in massive need of the education. Smith.
Good decision making by Brady Smith coming off that ball screen. Drop coverage, doesn't take it too deep, and stops and pops.
Wow, how about that? A pilfer from Lance Jones. Leaves it. And the trailer, Caleb First, is first to score, and Michael did not like that. And this is a quick shot treatment timeout. So now you get the transitions off the turnovers to go along with these quality ball screens.
Folks, take a look here as he's coming off that ball screen. Watch the defender right here. As Braden Smith comes off, he gets lower, and now it gives a little gap for Braden Smith to be able to pull up. Didn't go too deep. Really good decision there. And here, wow, the SIU transfer, Lance Jones, gives Purdue something that they didn't have, which is a pop, a defensive presence, and some athleticism at his spot. When he comes into the game, he really gives them a big lift. 18 points a game over his last 4, shooting 47% from 3. He's been one of the big-time, impactful transfers in the Big Ten Conference.
And again, when you played at a place where he did, the so-called mid-major or smaller conference star, you really have an understanding of what it means to them, because they want to go to the tournament. They want to have an opportunity to play on the biggest stage. And so blending in is never going to be a problem for a young man like that. And Matt Painter knows this as well as anyone, having spent time cutting his teeth as a coach at Southern Illinois.
Absolutely, because what was the thing that they had a tough time with in the NCAA tournament, lost last year? Dealing with speedy, quick guards. Lance Jones, he solves that problem quickly.
Indeed. With Zach Edey sitting down, it'll be interesting to see how they decide to utilize Omori.
I'd like to see them put him on that left block and let him go to work.
Yeah, working over First this time, and again, can't get it to go. Wow, a human pogo stick with the follow and the foul. Nice job by Jamichael Davis out of McEachern, Chattanooga, Tennessee, the freshman.
Jamichael Davis has given Rutgers a nice pop coming off the bench. That's able to get into the lane area, a little tip in there earlier, hit a little pull-up jump shot. He's given them a much-needed infusion of offense, and they've certainly needed his presence out here to try to keep this thing close.
Kaufman-Wren got the foul, his first. That three-point play certainly helps the home crowd's feelings. 21-10 as they try to pick their team up.
And folks, this is what you're going to see. Steve Pikiell mixing his defenses. A little full-court man, a little full-court pressure, three-quarter court pressure, and you may actually see him go a little bit of zone as well.
Jones again. Pulled down by Palmquist just into the game, the young man from Sweden. Hyatt from downtown. He just can't buy a three. Omori the foul. He uses the window.
With Zach Edey out of the game, that's the second offensive rebound that Rutgers has gotten.
One thing that will not stop, regardless of the score, is the crowd inside Jersey Mike's. They certainly bring the vintage name, the Rack, right back into your heart.
Braden Smith, typically under control, really cool customer with the basketball, but you pointed out this raucous Rutgers crowd impacted him on that play there. That wasn't even close. That ball sailed about 10 feet out of bounds.
Edey checks right back into the game. Painter loves to give him an early blow because it's important to him having to play so many minutes. Generally speaking, if he can buy him a couple of minutes early in a game, it'll help him, particularly if you're in for a close one. And in the Big Ten, you're going to have a lot of those on the road.
Yes, and a lot of that also is predicated on the fact that Rutgers has been able to attack the offensive glass as of late.
Simpson. Derek Simpson gets one to fall, averaging just under 10 a game.
Yeah, 13 points a game over his last 3, Tim.
So now 7 straight for the home team. Lawyer dumping it down. Kaufman-Wren is doubled, and another turnover. Omori takes it away. Palmquist.
Another offensive rebound for Rutgers.
Davis on the switch, right by Edey, and he's blocked. Now known as Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. We've made Dale Brown happy. Right?
He's my teammate with the Nuggets, and we're the same high school class, so I got to give him some love. He's an extraordinary player.
He sure was. Still is. Hyatt gets that one to go. That 3-on-3 thing, he really owned it, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yes, he did. 21-16, 9 unanswered here at Jersey Mike's. And those folks from Jersey know how to let you know when their team's doing well. Edey working pick and roll now, and there's a reach. I think they're going to tag Palmquist with the foul.
Folks, watch number 5, Andre Hyatt here. As they inbound this basketball, a little inside screen by Davis. Miscommunication by Gillis creates that wide open look. And boy, Rutgers has needed to be able to knock down a perimeter jump shot because it's been the offensive glass that have kept them in this game. 8 of their 16 points have come off the offensive glass as Gillis knocks down that 3.
Boy, Mason Gillis, Newcastle, Indiana star, now in a senior year. These seniors from Purdue have never won in this building. Hard to believe with their record being what it is overall. Jones pulls down that errant 3 ball.
I thought that was a settle. I thought Andre Hyatt should have driven that basketball to his left.
Gillis running the curl. Woo. Beautiful feed, and he's fantastic when running that curl near the elbow.
So many options at the power forward spot. We saw Trey Kaufman-Wren, who started this game, and now he's more of a post player. But when you bring Gillis in, now all of a sudden a guy who's a floor spacer, and he's so good pulling up from 3 or the pull-up off the dribble.
The dribble handoff was a good one, but again, Simpson unable to get that one to go. The offense from the perimeter has been spotty at best for Rutgers. At a 9-0 run, but Purdue has answered with 4 straight. And here's Edey working inside, solo, right over Amore.
Yeah, Amore's saying that he actually used his off arm to create a little space, and I think he's right.
As our friend Clark Kellogg would say, got away with a chicken wing, right?
You're making me hungry now.
Beautiful move. He's got such quick feet to be at that size. That's Cliff Amore's biggest key.
And that goes back to when he made that 15-foot jump shot earlier. Edey had to come up a little closer. Now he's got the speed advantage to be able to attack the basket, and that's exactly what he did there.
Edey corrals a low pass, now is doubled. Wills that one up there. Amore clears.
I've not seen anyone on the season guard Zach Edey as well as Cliff Amore is guarding him this afternoon.
And by the way, Steve Peichel told us before the game, there's a lob that does not work out and a turnover. Jones comes out of there with it. How this game is officiated means a lot to the home team. Edey. Oh, yes, and a foul. He stayed with it. His strength was the key there. He really didn't have control of the ball until he made his way up for the putback.
That was extraordinary. Able to corral that basketball, and I thought he was going to turn that one over. He's got all kind of gravity on his right arm and still has the strength to be able to get that one up on the glass and in.
By the way, you made mention of O'Neal. While he was in college, he got mugged by everyone.
While he was in the league, he got mugged by everyone.
Indeed. Because of the massive size differential, and I think big guys are always paying a price because of that. It's just hard for the officials to blow the whistle each time.
That's very fair.
And but one of the things about him is how he maintains his cool while he's taking so much contact.
That's a really good point because it's easy to allow that to get under your skin, and he's shown tremendous poise, especially over the last 2 years where he's been the most dominant player in all of college basketball.
Could be the first back-to-back player of the year since Ralph Sampson in the college game. Think about that. Wow. There's another steal. Jones just gets his hands in there every time.
Yes.
Edey, by the way, sits with 1,999 career points. His next bucket will get him beyond the 2,000 mark.
And he's just been extraordinary. 3 straight games, averaging 31 points a game and 17 rebounds over a 3-game stretch. And what can't we say about him? I don't think there's anyone who dominates the game the way that he does. And if he continues to go, he will definitely be the back-to-back National Player of the Year.
There's an example of how it's gone for Rutgers today. A great straight-line drive for nothing. Simpson could not get it to fall. Missed the bunny. Another steal.
Need it.
Hyatt. Gillis had it. Lost above, and my partner had to defend both of these guys.
Unsuccessfully at that.
Wow, look at those numbers. I'll never forget watching David Robinson with my own eyes in the NCAAs in Dayton in '85, and he took that team as far as he could to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
My goodness, what a star, and a great career he had in San Antonio. And think about the history Zach Edey might be making.
Yes.
Speaking of a sub above,
Right.
how about this?
I mean, an errant pass, he's able to stay locked in and focused and able to keep his poise and able to finish over the top. And that's the way you go up and above.
He has to sometimes have the trajectory on his shot going downward.
Because he's above and beyond.
Indeed.
It's incredible to watch him play. And you talked about it earlier, just the poise that he has with all of the physicality that goes against him night in and night out.
Well, and the game itself has moved away from back to the basket low post players, and yet he and his coach, are doing it old school and still keeping it popular at a time when face-up post players are the norm, not post-up.
And the way you do it when you have someone dominant on the interior is put great shooters around them, and they certainly have that this year. 5 guys shooting 40% or better from the three-point line for the Boilermakers.
Now they got Williams back into the game, and remember Austin playing with 2 fouls. So clearly Steve Peichel thinks this is an important time that his team needs to get ignited offensively. It's been an atrocious first 20 minutes for them, but if they can close and maybe keep it in single digits by the break, then you're still in it.
And that's what you want to try to do, to your point, is try to get it to 9, because again, psychologically it changes and gives you a bit of hope as you come out for the second half.
Edey with 8 points and 4 boards, back on the floor, looking to eclipse the 2,000-point mark in his career with a bucket. There he is. Shot clock winding down. Edey trying to keep it alive. That's Woolfolk that brings it down. Much needed breath for Amore as Woolfolk checks back in. And Williams trying to post up Gillis. He'll have none of it.
Got to get Zach Edey involved in the ball screen.
And they got to get Simpson to make a basket for them on these drives. At some point, one needs to fall, and it finally does.
And Tim came from the ball screen because the guards are doing a really nice job of snaking it, and with Zach Edey backing up, it'll give them some space to be able to get that low 15-foot jump shot off.
I mean, the building is just waiting to explode.
Yes.
And that's an offensive foul.
And folks, we've been asking for the ball screen from Rutgers because it brings Zach Edey away from the rim, and now Simpson does a really good job of reverse pivoting there and taking that jump shot over the top. And they need much more of that, especially in short shot clock situations.
Gillis on that bad pick picked up the foul, his first. And that's really good news for Simpson to see one go through like that on a tough shot.
Nice.
Woolfolk too strong.
It's almost as if he wasn't expecting to get that one.
Jones has just been outstanding playing his role, hasn't he? Number 55 in the black and gold.
He certainly has.
Smith for Edey. And they're going to get a foul to go with it. Count it. Hoop and harm, and that is vintage Boilermaker ball right there.
And Braden Smith is just so good off the dribble, able to get into the lane uncontested, and now all of a sudden you draw up Woolfolk, who steps up, and you never want to step up because it allows the guard to be able to throw it over the top, and Zach Edey does what Zach Edey does and throws it down hard.
Yeah, and the double whammy as Williams picked up his third on the play. You get Edey to 2,000, and you also get one of the more athletic players that Rutgers needs on the floor in the second half, a third foul.
How about that? Over 2,000 points for the Big Maple.
That time that he was at IMG and he was under Baycott, having to defend him, he had to wait his turn, and the Blue Bloods really didn't look at him. Mag, Wolflick on the offensive glass. They collapse on him, and Simpson now has it with a recycle. Wide open Mag. Boy, they really need him and Hyatt to begin to warm up. They're both empty today offensively. And the lead 13 now as we approach the intermission. Oh, yeah, that's a walk. He just lost his footing down there that time. He was headed to the deck as soon as he received the ball.
I wonder if the floor was a little wet down there. I'm glad he's okay, because you can get hurt that way. Watch as Zach Edey tries to catch this basketball. He literally, his feet just go from under him, and usually that's a sign that there's a wet spot there on the floor. He's open, getting ready to make a play. Ooh, yeah, I'm glad he's okay.
By the way, 72nd consecutive game scoring in double figures. Wow. For Zach Edey.
Incredible.
I mean, at this stage, I don't know how anyone else could be the player of the year.
Oh, for sure.
He's a runaway freight train in a lot of ways.
Figuratively and literally.
Yeah. Simpson, that pass was a little high, but retrieved by Omori. Mag just wants to see one go down. That one hits the side of the backboard. It's just been a very frustrating first half for Mawot Mag.
That's really good defensive awareness by Trey Kaufman-Wren, number 4 in black.
We'll keep it here on the timeout as Purdue will set up a final shot before we go to the break. Mag is 0 for 5. Hyatt hasn't hit a shot. Steve Peichel has to find a way at the intermission to get his team to get over that frustration. And so often when you play a team like Purdue and a player like Edey, you concentrate so much on defense that the offense just sometimes slips away.
It does, and that's really been the case for Rutgers throughout the season. They've just really struggled shooting the basketball, especially the guys that should be able to knock down shots for them. If it weren't for the 10 points that they've gotten off the offensive glass, this would be Purdue be up by 20.
By the way, you look at the series history, and with the understanding Rutgers has won 5 of the last 7 and 3 in a row, it's Purdue that leads it. And I ran into Edey Jordan today, one of the all-time greats and former coach at our hotel. And he, along with Dabney and those 76 players that got Tom Young to the Final Four, they're all here. There they are, Dabney in that group. And that 76 team, by the way, was recruited by my old friend and first ever partner on national television, Dick Vitale.
Wow.
Was on that staff and credited really for bringing in all those greats, 3 big-time players.
What hasn't Dickie V accomplished?
Oh, man, and we wish him all the best as he tries to get his vocal cords back.
Zone look here. Get it to the middle of the floor.
Jones up against the clock. And we've come to the intermission. They're going to need something similar to that today if they're going to hang with number 2 with a bullet, Purdue.
Guys like Noah Fernandez, number 2 in red, and Derek Simpson, Jermichael Davis, those guys are going to have to make some perimeter shots as Rutgers continues to mix their defense, a little 1-3-1 zone there.
Oh, the iron unkind to Jones from downtown.
I've been waiting on you to say that one.
You would have lost on the over-under, by the way. I had you wait till the second half. Kids on campuses back in the day used to have bets on over-unders on when that would come out.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Simpson with a pull-up, and it's just an awful shot after dribbling himself into a good position.
Tim, you see how wide open those looks are? You have to think that the law of averages, particularly with them playing at home on their home floor, they've got to be able to make some shots here in the second half.
And Lawyer lost his dribble, did manage to save it. And again, he lost his footing that time, and incidental contact And a good no call by Doug Sermons. Again, perspiration is a factor on that floor today.
Yeah, Andre Hyatt doing a really nice job. Oh, no, that's Mag.
Yep.
Doing a really nice job of not allowing him to get the advantage with his shoulder to turn the corner. That was really good defense by number 3 in red.
9 turnovers by the Boilers, but they haven't had those live ball turnovers that Rutgers has had. Scarlet Knights have had some putback points, second chance opportunities. Mag again rejected by Edey. Simpson with a fadeaway. Now those 2 shots that he's made have both been of the fadeaway variety.
Yeah, now 12 of their 22 points have come off offensive rebound putbacks. They've been extraordinary on the glass.
33-22. Worst scoring first half of the year for Rutgers, yet they're down just 11. Smith from up top. Count it.
And that's the danger of double teaming Zach Edey and not taking away angles for him to pass that thing out, because as we said earlier, Purdue's got 5 guys that shoot 40% or better from the 3-point line. Braden Smith just lined that one up.
Simpson gets the pick from Amore. And again, they're not taking shots they normally would. That one on a runner does fall, and Hyatt needs more of that kid from the Bronx, New York, that made it here through the portal at LSU.
Hyatt's been their most consistent scorer on the season, and he's got to be able to make shots both off the dribble and when he has catch and shoots.
Sometimes when you will one in, it helps you later on. Edey backs in, slams it home. He got position and used his leverage big time against Cliff Amore there.
That's the first time Cliff Amore has given them an angle to the basket. You've got to make Zach Edey have to score over the top. Well done by Zach Edey.
And there you go. Andre Hyatt sees one go in, goes right back out to the 3-point line and drains it.
35% from 3 on the year. That'll get this crowd into it.
3 minutes gone by here in the second half. They're going to get a Hyatt with an arm.
Folks, watch as the double team happens here. Zach Edey's taking his time, and all of a sudden, Mag didn't have his hands up, and what that does is allow him a straight line pass, and you can't allow that. And look, Braden Smith knocks that one down, and that one, he just got the perfect angle and just drop-stepped and used his strength to be able to dunk that one over the top. Well done by Zach Edey.
Austin Williams has got to be careful playing with 3 at the end of the first half. Great work defensively by Amore. Simpson was trying to find Williams, but couldn't. Pulls up in the paint. And that one goes crying again off the front iron.
Got to get the shooters.
Bingo! Bango! Bongo! Braden Smith, Westfield, Indiana. 15 points for him. Williams on the baseline, gets it to go.
And they need more of that from Williams. He's so good off the dribble, can finish with either hand around the rim. He's got the requisite speed to be able to get by Fletcher Lawyer. That's well done by 24 in red.
Edey with the little jump hook. Too easy.
Yeah, Cliff Amore has allowed him to get comfortable now. Early in the first half, he was really walling up on that shot and forcing Zach Edey to take more of a fall away that was falling short. Now Edey's in a really good rhythm. Cliff Amore's got to give him more resistance.
Simpson, high arching off the window, can't get it to go. Edey saves it. And here comes Braden Smith the other way.
Danger time here for Rutgers.
Yep. Quick answer after that first 3 for Rutgers. They cut it to 11. They're 1 of 9 from downtown. And again, no help for Amore. He walked. That's the one bit of help that Zach can give you. Pack your bags and travel.
Indeed. You've got to get back in transition and get out the shooters. And that's a really good push up the floor by Lance Jones. And he finds Braden Smith. 3 to the vein. Braden Smith knocks it down.
There's nothing better than a Subway Series footlong, except when you add a new footlong sidekick, like the ultimate BMT with the new footlong pretzel. Nothing like a sidekick that steps up in crunch time.
Not cool, man.
Every epic footlong deserves a perfect sidekick.
With all these Hilton Honors points, I could stay for free.
At the Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives.
What about the Canopy in Paris?
Hilton Honors, babe.
When you want points that can take you anywhere, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
I'm wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
What you looking at, babe?
Cars on cars.com.
What's wrong with this one?
I just got promoted, so I'm looking for something more. Ciao.
Ciao.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
Looking for bladder leak protection that neutralizes odors and keeps you dry? Try new Depend Fresh Protection. It absorbs 25 times its weight and features Dry Shield technology that protects better than pads and keeps you 2 times drier. Try Depend.
Wanna leave works all day so I can keep working my magic. Just wanna leave. 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve. Who do you take it for? And for fast topical pain relief, try Aleve X.
I love that Tuesdays at B-Dubs is BOGO half-off traditional wings. Every week I save so much, I can finally afford college. Just kidding. No one can afford college. But this deal for wings? Hachi-chachi. What a steal.
Big Ten basketball, powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve. We touched on the importance of this day. Purdue leading by 14 at halftime. These incredible stars became the notice of attention and Knights of Honor. That's Edey Jordan, who was the all-time assist leader. There is a fantastic talent as well. Hollis Copeland and Mike Dabney of that 76 Final Four team, of which Phil Sellers was a part, and a first-team All-America. They are now joining him as Knights of Honor. And the guy that recruited them all, my old friend and yours too, Dickie V. There's Dabney with his wife and lovely Lorraine recently as they celebrated that 76 team. Dick had left and become the head coach at Detroit.
Wow.
But he recruited those guys from Tom Young that made it to the Final Four in 76. That was the pinnacle moment for Rutgers basketball. And a much-needed three out of the break for Gavin Griffiths, the kid from Kingswood, Oxford in Simsbury, highly thought of, most celebrated, second highest rated recruit ever at Rutgers. And the turnover, and you smell the run coming inside the rack at Jersey Mike's Arena.
Absolutely, and that was a really nice inside screen by Clifford Morey that allowed that airspace, and Gavin Griffith stepped into that one and knocked it down. Only shooting 27% from three, but you wouldn't know it on that last one. Shot it with a lot of confidence, and they're going to need number 10 to be able to make some open shots to get back in this game.
Well, they were 0 for 8 in the first half from downtown. 2 of 2 to open the second half. Simpson on a blow-by, runs into the roadblock. Omori going reversal past Edey. That's Omori.
I see what you're doing there.
Wins against ranked opponents, 4 against top 10 teams. The Boilers, with all of that brawn, know all about it.
Full court pressure here from Rutgers. You got to get it over and let it tie.
Up against it. That's a 10-second violation. Michael can coach. He can flat out coach.
Yes, he can. I mean, think of the different looks that he's given them tonight. Full court pressure, three-quarter court pressure. We've seen a 2-3 zone. We've seen man. We've seen 1-3-1. It's got Purdue out there thinking on the road, and this fan base has done a terrific job of giving them much-needed energy on their home floor.
Yeah, you think Jim Calhoun wants me to mention his coaching tree right now? Woo. Oh, man. Here's Williams on the dribble drive. And the man that looks like Harry Potter goes behind the back. He nailed that quick three that helped ignite this building, and you can almost feel it after that celebration for the 76 team. The building was ready to explode, and it has. after this run to cut it down to 7 points.
Now, Tim, I know Harry Potter, but I don't know if he has a behind-the-back crossover in this game.
Woo! He's got that.
Yes, sir.
And more. Closest since it was 21-16. A 9-0 run. Yeah, that's where you got to go. He may have gotten away with steps, but that's where the ball has got to go to end a run.
Especially when he... Ooh, wow.
Jones again.
Jones again.
Man, he has been something. Gillis. Edey again with the offensive rebound and a recycle. Trying to take some of the air out of this Jersey Mike's arena.
I'd like to see him get it right back to Edey. Smith will take this and maybe get room.
Yeah. Nice idea, but couldn't get it to fall. It belongs to Rutgers.
And folks, watch Gavin Griffith here as he gets ready to inbound this basketball. A nice little double screen here to try to get separation. Nice screen by Amori late, and he's able to knock down that three. Rutgers has needed someone to be able to knock down some perimeter jump shots, and all of a sudden on that home floor, Rutgers starting to knock down 15-footers and some threes as well, and that's gotten them back in this game within 7.
Griffith's dad, Larry, played at the University of Hartford, or as they'd say in Connecticut, the University of Hartford.
I like it.
And Michael knew all about him, had to guard him when he was in school.
I thought Davis should have shot that ball.
Hyatt from downtown. Ball's taken off the rim, and a slam flushed. Amori again. It's down to 5. Why not? Why not? He'll get to the free throw line. 11:38 to play. A lot of time as the Scarlet Knights try to do it again. Leave the Purdue seniors wanting something they've never gotten, and that's a win in the state of New Jersey.
In the U.S., we see millions of cyber threats each year. That rate is increasing as more and more businesses move to the cloud. So the question is, as cyber criminals expand their toolkit, we must expand as well. We need to rethink.
Next level moments need the Next Level Network.
And ensure we have
the network with 24/7 built-in security.
Chip.
AT&T Business.
Jersey Mike's freshly slices your sub right in front of you. It has a rhythm.
This is the rhythm of the slice. The slice. Oh yeah. The rhythm.
Sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
You always got your mind on the green. Not you. You. Your business bank account with QuickBooks Money now earns 5% APY. That's how you business differently. Intuit QuickBooks.
Austin and his company were placed with special forces in Afghanistan. We never thought our son would have PTSD. He was so strong.
When that demon hits, it hits.
Kevin and I became very determined that his death was not going to be in vain. There are so many resources that Stop Soldier Suicide is trying to provide.
Anything that we can do is important. Austin was our only child. This is what our legacy will be.
There's a way to cut your dishwashing time by 50%. Try Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray. It removes 99% of grease and grime in half the time. It cleans so well, you can replace multiple cleaning products. Try Dawn Power Wash.
With the first pick in the Jersey Mike's catering box draft, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's gonna go, so.
The Jersey Mike's catering box, a sub above.
Saturday on Fox. Tristan Newton leads top ranked UConn.
against Rick Pitino's St. John's squad. Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Fox.
Wow, what an incredible animal.
They put him in front of this TV. That's way too much screen time.
Let's get these trash pandas in the truck, everyone. All these guys 21?
Animal Control returns Wednesday, March 6th on Fox.
Matt Painter is one of the great coaches in the college game, so heavily involved in USA basketball. He's a lifer, loves the game. You know you're going to endure runs like this when you've got a double-digit lead at halftime, and LaFonso, that's what his team has had to do. They've had to endure a great run. And that huddle, he let them know what they had to do.
Listen, we just keep getting good shots down here. Right? Let's keep executing down here. You guys got to remember the ATO, right?
What he's telling his guys is just when he draws up a play, you have to remember the after timeout play.
ATO.
Yes,
after
ATO,
timeout.
after timeout, because what happens is no matter how locked in you are, 5 guys on the floor, 2 of them were here, and the other 3 are going, hey, what did coach draw up? It happens all the time.
In basketball,
that was the latter.
In basketball terminology, that would be for a lot of players, KYG, know your game, right? Yes. ATO is after timeout.
Timeout. That's right.
Edey trying to end that 11-2 run with a freebie.
That's another thing, Tim, that makes him so special is in late game situations, you don't have to play the offense-defense game with him because he's such a good free throw shooter that you don't have to compromise your defensive nor your offensive rebounding. Shoot 75% from the line.
Gets 1 out of 2. It's a 6-point game.
Purdue fans will be mad at me on that one. Little announcer jinx.
Yep.
My bad.
Well, you've been at it long enough to at least know when you misstep. And away from the ball is another foul.
First step towards recovery, my friend.
Lawyer picking that one up against Griffiths. And, well, you see that eyewear, and you can understand where the Harry Potter thing came from.
Similar play here.
Yeah, the last one. Almost as good as that one, but not quite. Parliament Funkadelic had a great song called Tear the Roof Off the
Yes,
Sucker.
sir.
Remember that?
Yes.
If that basket had gone, the roof would have been torn off the sucker.
Absolutely. Watch the ducky in here from Edey.
Omori fronting him now. Here's Lawyer from downtown. Beautiful tap out by Omori.
Get it to the left side here. There's a shot waiting for Rutgers. Get it a little too late.
High and a quick burst. Hello! Big time! High! Roberta Flack killing it softly.
Woo! I see what you're doing there, partner. Folks, when you're in transition, you want to get the basketball to the opposite side of the floor as quickly as you can because everyone loads up to the basketball and you can get some one-on-one opportunities, and that's exactly what happened with Andre Hyatt there, able to reverse that basketball up and in, opportunity for a 3-point play here.
Well, when you've got that in your game, the ability to put it up with, as Al McGuire once said, the little French pastry high off the window.
I like it.
You're going up against a big like Edey. You need to have that in your arsenal.
Indeed. More full court pressure.
Closest since it was 7-4. Beautiful pass inside. And I think Williams may be tagged with his 4th on that reach. That's number 4 on 24.
And so, folks, watch Andre Hyatt here as he's running up the floor. He's trying to get his guard to see him. He claps his hands. He finally hear him. I thought he waited a little too late. Now that little clear-out action by Williams allowed him a one-on-one opportunity with a power forward. That's an absolute mismatch with Hyatt that he takes advantage of.
His scoring average has gone up with each passing year. It'll be a 5th straight game to score in double digits for him. And he'll need to make more buckets as this game goes on. Williams has to sit down with the 4 fouls. So Griffiths is now on the deck. Noah Fernandez has checked in to go along with Omori, as well as Jamichael Davis.
And partner, this has been a chess match between Matt Painter and Steve Peichel. Remember early on, they were trying to straight post Zach Edey. Now all of a sudden they're getting him on the move where he's able to catch the basketball in the middle of the floor where there's not much help, and he's created some nice one-on-one opportunities inside.
He's made their last 7 points for Purdue.
Really good coaching by Matt Painter.
Griffiths working on Lawyer. Bounce pass entry. Omori rejected by Edey. That was an easy one for him to take down.
Indeed, he should have passed that basketball. He was up underneath the backboard. Very difficult angle to score. Keep getting Edey the basketball inside the middle of the floor.
Pick and roll time, but they miss it. Shot clock under 10. Edey again on the glass. He's so good passing out of the post. Jones unable to hit. And it's pulled down by Andre Hyde.
Another steal.
Another steal by Jones.
How good are his defensive instincts?
He's the prince of the pilfer.
Indeed. Two-time Missouri Valley Conference all-defensive team. He's given them a tremendous burst on the defensive end.
5 steals in all for him today.
Wow.
And he's cashed them into points, too. Smith will get called for that foul reaching in. Wolfick will check in.
Yeah, when you're playing against a guy like Lance Jones, you got to know as the inbounder where he is on the floor. You can't make blind little passes inside. That's 2 or 3 now that he's picked off and converted them to baskets. Number 55 in black has added a new dimension to this Purdue Boilermaker team. He's been sensational over the last 4 games. 18 points a game, shooting 47% from 3 as well.
Mag is back in the game, and I mean, if there's a player they need something from, it's him in the second half. Great job of keeping his balance going inside. Well done by Davis.
Yeah, whenever you have a guy crowding you that way, you should put it on the deck and get to the rim, and that's exactly what Michael Davis did there. Edey's got to touch the ball here with Omori on the bench.
Wolfick trying to front him. Not easily done. Smith for 3. Tapped out again by Edey to Jones. That one won't fall for the perimeter, and it's taken down again by Rutgers. Here goes Griffiths the other way. There's the 3 they've been looking for. Noah Fernandez, the UMass transfer. It's down to 2.
Zach Edey has been terrific in this game, and his ability to knock down free throws. You're talking about a guy that's 7'4", 305 pounds, and a feathery touch from the foul line.
Keep an eye on Griffiths.
Number 10 in red.
There it is. There's the pin down. Off the front iron, got a wide open look. Got that high pick that he wanted. He's upset with himself too.
He should be.
Trying to shake it off. I think he prefers the wing, frankly, and he does up top. That one won't fall. Griffiths keeps it alive though. Out of bounds, it belongs to Purdue. Sometimes you know coming out of a timeout that the coach has drawn one up for you and the pressure's on, isn't it?
Especially when you're a young player that way and playing in a big game. Gavin Griffiths is only a freshman. But he stepped up and made some big shots for him here in the second half.
Like a field goal kicker going out, being asked to kick the longest one of his career.
Indeed. Whew. I thought Zach Edey was open one-on-one. You couldn't even see his defender. He had him posted up so deeply.
Mag is trying to defend Smith here off the ball. Number 3 on 3.
They're using a little high-low action when they do that.
And another foul inside. All you can do really with Edey, try not to foul him as he's shooting. Keep from it as best you can.
I just like how intentional they've been here in the second half of getting them the basketball in the middle portion of the floor. Because now all of a sudden your helps, when you do help, they're so deep, and he can make those kicks out for guys for open shots, but he's not needed to because he's so deep that he's been able to power it up and get to the foul line.
And with all due respect to Antoine Wolfhook, who is a talented sophomore, okay? I mean, it's just too much for him. He can only play in spots. Omori has the quick feet that can enable him to really do a better job of fronting and not allowing Edey to get leverage in the paint.
And Anton Wolfhook, I mean, he's a big kid, but he's only 225 pounds trying to keep a 305-pounder out of the lane. Cliff Omori much more suited and stronger to try to accomplish that goal. Look at that touch, though. My goodness.
But you'd rather have him get freebies at the line than dunk on you each time he gets it. 12 of Purdue's last 14 points belong to Zach. 55-48. They had cut it to 2 just 2 minutes ago. Rutgers so much more effective when the floor is spread in the 94 feet. Omori missed the chippy. I think they did get a foul. Yep.
You can hear that all the way up here.
Did they say the basket counted too? Oh, maybe they were going to say that. Nope, they didn't. I thought for a moment they were going to give basket interference too, but it'll be Omori at the line after Edey gets the foul, his second.
This part of you can hear that slap all the way up here with where we're sitting.
Yeah, we would be to give the building its due. We would be mid-rack at the rack at Jersey Mike's. That's where we're looking. Right in the middle of the rack.
I see what you did there.
Well, Omori gets one of them to go. 55-49. 6.5 to play.
2-2-1 full court pressure here. I think Purdue, once they break it, they've got to go to score.
They may have, over and back. They forced that, and again, it surprised them. That change, that defensive change by Steve Pikel really surprised Jones.
Agreed. They were 1-2-2 the last possession up the floor, and this time a little 2-2-1. But I still think when Purdue gets that basketball over half court, they have advantage situations, 4-on-3, 3-on-2. They've got to look to attack. They're looking to get it over and just to set up their offense. I think they're missing out on some easy opportunities at the rim.
The Scarlet Knights so much more effective in transition. When the ball is in the half court, it's advantage Purdue. Simpson. 55-51, and here they come again on their feet.
That empty side ball screen, Tim Brando, has been really good offensively for Rutgers.
Away. It belongs to the Scarlet Knights.
Folks, watch Gavin Griffiths. He's only a freshman, number 10 right there coming into the play. He's got to sink down and take that away. That's terrific awareness by the freshman.
And a quick timeout. Sometimes when you're a coach and you're on the road and you've been in a place where you're great teams, and he's had great teams these last few years, despite what's happened in March. Matt Painter's had some of the best teams. You know they've got your number. And you can just see that and sense that. We certainly did when we talked to Matt Painter. You look at our AP top 10 rankings coming in, we mentioned Connecticut just blew past Xavier. That's a team that's been playing well too, the Musketeers, going into today's game. And look, college basketball is chock full of great teams. Houston now beginning to show its wares to the best conference in America. In my view, Big 12 basketball is deeper. Really, the only difference between the Big 10 and the Big East versus the Big 12 is just the depth of the bottom of that league is a little better because they've got a lot of teams and they're all playing at a high level.
Absolutely, and I have to tell you, Tim, most of the Purdue fans know that 2 years ago, I didn't think they could win the national. Last year, I didn't think they could win the national title because I didn't think they had the requisite veteran guards in the backcourt to be able to do it. And then 2 years ago, with Jaden Ivey, those guys were extraordinary on the offensive end, but they didn't really guard. This group here, They defend. They've got shooters around Zach Edey. I think this is the team that's most equipped not only to get to the Final Four, but to win it all.
Speaking of 2021, Matt remembers this one heavily. Harper, that's right, the Harper, the second coming of Harper at midcourt to win the game. He throws the headband, okay? Where did it wind up? In the lap of Matt Painter. On his way, as he was making his way through the handshake line to close out the game, he extended his hand to Steve Pikiell and said, by the way, congratulations on the win, and here's Harper's headband. Can you believe that? There's Ron Harper Jr. here in the game today.
What a phenomenal college player. 3-ball, could drive it, could post it, and had bounce as well.
Talk about making a Papa proud.
Right?
Right.
And he shot that thing off the wrong leg.
A peer of yours back in the day. Griffiths on a flash. That ball, I think his arm got hit. No whistle. Out of bounds to Rutgers.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I thought he short-armed it.
He may have.
Yeah.
And he may have deked me that time by saying, oh, yeah, I got hit. Let's see. Sometimes shooters will do that. I think the play-by-play announcers will give him a break.
Yeah, and just shot that boy short.
He deked me. He deked me. Well, Amori took one in the chops, and he's having to sit down now. No short arm on that one.
Rutgers has done a really nice job of those inside screens to get Gavin Griffiths open, and he's able to knock that one down from the left side.
He atoned, and he has changed the tone inside Jersey Mike's.
With Cliff Amori out of the game, Zach Edey's got to touch the basketball.
Smith using the glass.
How poised is he when he gets in the gap?
They're tending to Amori now at the end of the bench. You do need to get him back in as quickly as possible. Mag has really struggled offensively today, giving it up. Here's Griffiths again. Short-armed it one more time on the teardrop. Stayed with it, though. Edey rejected him.
And he'll learn when he's got a crowd around him. That means he's got someone open. He's got to make the extra pass. Poor decision there.
Yeah, they got to get Amori back in quickly, and they do. He's going to the scores table. That's an offensive foul. Nice work by Derek Simpson.
When you're smaller guard inside with the bigger players on the interior, you've got to fight to sit on their laps and not allow them to be able to get position. Derek Simpson did an extraordinary job there to keep Kaufman-Renn from getting deep post position.
Now, Amori's jaw was what they were dealing with. He did take one in the chops. He's back on the floor now, and they desperately need him. Williams is back too, and he's playing with 4 fouls.
And with Gavin Griffiths off the floor now, Andre Hyatt, number 5 in red's got to get going.
Yeah,
wow, turnover.
That's just the lack of concentration.
Yeah.
Mag has had a tough day.
He really has. 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from the foul line.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that averages 10.5 and 5 boards a game. Struggled in that Illinois game a week ago. It's been a while since these guys have played, and when you're trying to shore up your offensive game, sometimes that can hurt you. A little stop and go by Jones. Well, that was a thing of beauty, everything but the finish. It'll go back the other way to Rutgers.
But you know what, Tim? I liked it because that's the first time against the press this afternoon that they've gotten the basketball across and looked to attack early. He got a really good look and just missed it.
Well, they're going to get Jamichael Davis back in to replace Mag.
And with Mag struggling on the day, Jamichael Davis has been able to make a couple of really good plays for Rutgers offensively. He gives them more balance out there on the perimeter.
Yeah, it gives them more of an explosive look to their backcourt, and has great vision to pass the ball. Williams, a wraparound to Amori. Over Edey, and he's rejected again, but fouled. And for you Boiler fans out there, they're saying, oh, man, he's getting mugged on every play. Guess what? Comes with the territory when you're that big.
Yes, it does.
And if you don't believe me, talk to Shaq, talk to David Robinson, talk to my partner, LaFonso Ellis.
Karl Malone. All those big bruising guys.
And again, I go back to Zach's patience in dealing with it. He's got such a great countenance and presence about him.
He does.
To deal with all of that. Here we go, a 3-point game.
Purdue's got to get it over and go to attack. They're dropping back now in the man. The middle ball screen and getting Zach Edey the basketball in the middle of the floor has been really good for Purdue.
Lawyer from the seat of his pants, and the closeout will bring a 5th foul and elimination to Austin Williams.
Yeah, that's an absolute no-no. Zach Edey's rolling down, and a nice little replace job there by Lawyer. You got to be able to contest if you're Williams, and because you're talking about a Fletcher Lawyer who is an incredible shooter, but he's 0 for 3 from 3. Now you put a guy on the line, and sometimes as a great shooter, all you need to do is see the basketball go through the net. And he's getting some freebies here, and now you put yourself in danger because the next time he's open, if he makes these 2 free throws, he's likely to knock down that 3 ball.
In defense of Austin Williams, he is an explosive player, but he's gone through some real difficulty with his knee. It blows up on him. He's got some issues with it, and Steve was telling us, Steve Peichel, before the game that he just has to go sort of day by day with him.
Yeah, he's such a tough kid. I love watching him play.
With that foul coming at the 3-point line, that's just a gift to a guy as good at the stripe as is Lawyer. He'll check out, and that brings the crowd back to their seats. And as they do get to their seats, something to consider here is what Griffiths might be able to do to get them out of their seats again.
You got to do a little offensive defense move here. Ethan Morton is a phenomenal one-on-one defender, and so he's been assigned to try to keep Griffiths under control.
And he got him with a bump. Good call, partner. I mean, he was right up in his kitchen.
He's not a great shooter, but Ethan Morton can flat out guard in open space. Excellent passer, can drive it.
That gets Rutgers into the bonus now for 1-1.
Now as they get ready to go back on offense, defense substitution. Now they bring Fletcher Lawyer back in the game.
A lot of times, great teams know this, if you're going to be different, and Purdue hopes to be this year in the tournament, you have to win a game like this on the road, and in the past they've not been able to do it against a team that mixes and matches and plays a style that is just tough on them.
Because of the way Peichel switches his defenses up, it just kind of keeps you thinking and a little bit on edge, and so it keeps you from playing freely, and I think that's exactly what we've seen here from Purdue here in the second half.
Griffiths goes 1 of 2, and it's a 5-point game with 3 to play.
It's money time. 15 and Black's got to touch the ball.
Blow by Smith.
So good.
62-55. Jamichael Davis running the show now with Amori back on the deck. Noah Fernandez looks for Griffiths on the curl, and there is on the switch Lawyer trying to check him. That's a spot. He loves that spot, but can't get it to go. Big miss for Rutgers right there.
Yeah, they needed that one. This is where they hang their hats, so they've got to get a stop here, but I'd like to see Zach Edey get a touch on this possession.
He got it with authority. And the Boilermaker crowd, and there are a few of them here, letting the faithful know it's going to be different this year, just like it's going to be different in March.
Yes.
It's going to be different today.
And here's Fletcher Lawyer. There's that high ball screen that's been so good. Brayton Smith, forgive me. And no one steps up because they're afraid to leave the strong side because of how good they shoot it from 3. And then this is just a straight line pass. The help defense was way too early, and Zach Edey a lot of room to be able to throw that one down inside. The big man's got 26 now in this game.
The last time Purdue won in this building, you got to go back to 2018. Vincent Edwards led the Boilers that day, 18 points, and the then third-ranked Boilermakers escaped with a 2-point win. I mean, this team has been good for a long time. The only missing link for Matt has been the NCAAs, and much like what happened to Tony Bennett at Virginia, you know, sometimes you just have to go through different stages and agony of defeat, whether it's St. Peter's one year, Fairleigh Dickinson another. Sometimes you just have to work that hard to get to a Final Four. And years ago, LaFonso, when you were playing, I know Digger would have said this, and Ray Meyer knew it too. It's harder to get to a Final Four than it is to win a game at the Final Four.
There's a psychology behind it, yet I think this Purdue team is built this year with the addition of Lance Jones to be able to get there and possibly win it.
A 3-ball from Andre Hyatt, and it comes at an opportune time. 64-58.
High ball screen, and if it's not there, get that ball to Zach Edey inside. Here it comes.
Shot clock under 10. They go pick and roll. Lost the ball on the dribble, but it's returned to sender. Jones again. Every loose ball belongs to him. Every loose ball.
And it's plays like that why Purdue's going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament, and I think this team is built to win it. Lance Jones gives them something that they haven't had in the last 2 years, an on-ball hawk with great instincts. He's been able to come up with some steals. He's a combo guard that you can put him at the 1 or the 2, and people question his ability to be able to shoot it because he shot less than 30% from 3 last year, where he's proved them wrong because he shot 47% from 3 over the last 4.
Tim Brando, LaFonso Ellis here in Piscataway, New Jersey, in the Big Ten, where upstart Rutgers is trying to get off the schneid. 2-5 in league play against the number 2 Boilermakers. Jones, to your point, has given them a kind of defensive out that they didn't have with those teams that were really, really good, but frankly just did not defend in their perimeter the way this team does.
Indeed.
66-58. Got to score here if you're Rutgers.
See Andre Hyatt get a touch here.
For 3. Off the front iron, loose ball collected by Edey.
Yeah, that's a settle. I thought he could have been able to get into the lane to try to draw 2 to create offense for himself or his teammates. 105, you got a foul here. And go for a steal and foul if you don't get it.
Well, they're too deep into the clock, one would think now. Now Edey now over Amore, and that will stop the clock. And there was really nothing else Amore could do. What an answer to these magnificent runs and challenges. This is their end game. Look at that, all those appearances. I mean, Gene Cady is in the Naismith Hall of Fame, never got there.
Wow.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
4 tournament number 1 seeds. I was on hand for one of them back in 1996 when he got knocked out by Georgia in the second round at the Sweet 16. That team just could not quite get there. And Matt Painter, it's been a similar story for him. Well, there's life left in Rutgers after those 2 misses.
Gotta go here.
Need one and need one quickly. Hyatt. That would have counted had it gone and could have been a 4-point play. Morton picks it up. 3 shots coming with 37.5 left.
Yeah, make or miss here. I expect some full court pressure here from Rutgers as we see Andre Hyatt continue to move without the basketball, and that's a good call by the official. Ethan Morton trying to catch up to him, bangs him on that left shoulder there. But make or miss, I like to see Rutgers in full court pressure. As the ball is inbounded, try to tie it up, and if you can't tie it up, you got to foul.
Want to thank our producer today, Fran Morrison, the director of our game, Rich Dewey, made it all the way in from Seattle, Associate Director Jordan Harrison, Broadcast Associate Jake Fuller, our technical producer, the veteran Ron McGuggins, statisticians Jake Wisniewski, John Lombarda, along with Ed Spida. Ed Spida in for our friend Ethan Cooperson, who's busy today getting ready for the AFC title game. Ethan, we wish you well as well.
Yes.
7-point game now with Hyatt still at the stripe. And if these can go down, Rutgers will have it to a 2-possession game. They're going to get Simpson back on the floor.
Speed team is in now. They'll try to trap the first pass and try to tie it up. And if they can't get it, they have to foul.
There's your trap. There's your trap.
Foul.
Gillis. Yeah, they're letting way too much time go off that clock. Way too much time. They finally get the foul, just not as aggressive, LaFonso, and attempting to get it. Players sometimes, I think, are so scared of getting an intentional.
Yes.
That they forget to just go ahead and foul.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Take a look at the Boilermakers' upcoming schedule, and it's never easy in the Big Ten, particularly when you're getting everyone's best shot. How about Chris Collins and the job he's done in Evanston, huh?
I don't think a lot of people talk enough about Boo Buie. Boo Buie is one of the best point guards in the country. Can flat out score.
They know their roles. Right? Every role player he's got knows how to play. And you're right, Boo Buie and the backcourt in general, they play great position basketball. And the Lawyer knocks him down, and here's the defense for offense with Morton coming back in the game. Again, it's got to be quick.
Got to be quick.
Hyatt for three. It's so tough when everyone knows you need a three.
Yes, I was surprised that Amori didn't go up and set a high ball screen to try to free his teammate up.
Well, it was great to be back in the building they call the Rec, because I've never been here. And while Rutgers doesn't get it done, I am so impressed with Purdue. If you're wondering, can they make the March run, I believe this year, you're right, they can.
There's no question about it.